over the years, there's been a Zen, or a Chan, as it's called in Chinese, anecdote told. But to recollection, that anecdote has never been completed. So let's see what arises for us if this story is told in its completion, relative to our inquiry and our endeavor to reconcile having arrived and becoming perpetually. Is that anecdote about the Zen or the Chan master who decided that he would build his monastery right next door to that of a Taoist temple. Now, the Taoists are the great alchemists and magicians, and they were very, very upset about having a Zen monastery right next to their temple. So they decided to use their magic powers to get rid of him. So they sent down storms and tempests, and the doors rattled with the sound of the thunder, and the lightning bolts shattered the windows. And of course, the Zen master, called Chuan Tzu, had a lot of followers, and a lot of those followers were very afraid of these goings on, recognizing it was because of the power of the Taoists, so they left the monastery. But Chuan Tzu was totally unperturbed by any of this. And when the Taoists recognized this, they decided to send all kinds of vermin. So they sent scorpions and cockroaches and mice and rats, which just ran rioting through the monastery. And of course, a lot more of the followers of Chuan Tzu decided this was not acceptable, so they also left. But Chuan Tzu was totally and completely unperturbed by all of this, didn't worry him at all. He just cleaned up the vermin, as he did with the cockroaches and the scorpions and so forth. So when the Taoists realized that that was not working, they pulled out their big guns and they brought down the ghouls and the ghosts and the demons, which they sent into the monastery. Well, of course, that frightened the rest of the seekers and acolytes away. But Chuan Tzu was completely unfazed and totally unperturbed by all of this going on. So the Taoists, really realizing that they'd run out of all of their powers, they moved their temple. So people came along to Chuan Tzu, and they said to him, "Well, how did you do that? Those Taoists have magic powers." Chuan Tzu said, "Oh, it was with Wu." Oh, and people said, "Well, how can a word beat the magic of..." "Oh," said Chuan Tzu, he said, "the Taoists have magic powers, and having is confined to existence. I have no magic powers, but Wu is endless, boundless. And I know and understand the difference between having and not having. And this brings constancy. And constancy will always beat inconstancy." So this Wu boundless, constant, endless. How does the understanding of having and not having bring about this constancy, so that we can say that we know what Wu is? What is it that we've discovered that is unchanging in our life, even when faced with the question, how do we reconcile the state of arriving and constantly and endlessly becoming? What is it for us now? This Wu. Recognizing as we do that it has a power. Could it be that it comes about in the meeting of our acceptance of having arrived, and yet still being in life as life unfolds? So there's the process of an unfolding, becoming, in other words. Could that possibly be to do with knowing the difference between having and not having? Where are we now?
For me, Wu is like an effortless effort. It's like my process. It's like I'm more and more can't make any effort.
Right.
It's just I can't, you know.
No.
It just doesn't work. It
No.
doesn't move.
Yes.
So it's just kind of waiting.
Yes.
Let it happen. Or letting go.
Yes. Non-attachment?
Non-attachment also.
Mm.
What idea or whatever. Idea is there, no? Mind is there. So idea comes, but just don't move.
Yes.
Don't know, can't.
Yes.
Till some impulse or this effortless effort comes,
Yes.
then just grass grows by itself.
Yes. So how would we describe this constancy? Because if Wu is limitless and boundless, it's not a thing. But we do recognize the constancy in our life now. Not a thread, maybe a recognition that it's been there all along. But what is it that we can now claim, which is and naturally bring together having arrived, being here, ever present, and having life's movement.
Consciousness.
Consciousness, yes.
That's constant.
Mhm.
Trust in that.
So what other name would we give to consciousness? What comes with consciousness?
Like awareness and
Awareness, isn't it?
being present. And
That's right. So awareness is a constancy, isn't it? Have we ever been without awareness? Not possible. Not possible, is it? Aware of being aware. We've had those phases when we moved into recognizing there was something beyond our mind. We were aware that we were aware. But awareness is always here.
so in the stillness we're aware, and in the awareness the woo comes through.
Absolutely.
In this